in general, he's just not, he's always been a guy that loves lots of ladies. You know?
So what were your thoughts about this reunion? It was hard to watch everything going on with Taylor and Shep, and I mean, just what were your thoughts?
Well, it was hard to watch, and I always want to be a part of everything in this, but I was like, maybe that was a time to not be there, because I would have been right there crying. I probably would have defended Shep because I just felt so bad for him, and I feel bad for Taylor too, because I know her heart is, she loves him, and so it's coming from a place of not hatred, but just hurt and sadness, and she wishes that he would be like this other person, and they could be together and then get married and have kids and stuff. And I feel like that's not, I mean, if he's going to be like that with anyone, it would be her. But I just think Shep, I've known him for my whole life, and he's just not that interested in that way of life. And that's okay. It sucks that her feelings are in the way, it sucks that he's, 2.5 years is a long time to fall in love and to be together and be best friends and all that, and then to just stop abruptly. But as Craig said, do you think you turned a blind eye to it? And because you kind of knew, it's not like he was this romantic that was promising her marriage and kids the whole time, and then he was like, you know what, stop, I don't want this. The whole time he was kind of like, I love you. I think at one point he even said, if you find someone that better fits your needs, you go for it, because I don't know if I want to get married and have kids. And so I think, I think Shep is just kind of going back to his original ways, and it's not against, he does love Taylor, but I think he just wants to be Shep again.
Sure. You think that maybe she thought that she could change him?
Exactly. We all, as a female who falls in love with a guy, knowing he's kind of a bad boy, that is common, and I don't fault her for that, because she wanted that so badly, and so it is hard to not think that you could be the one to change that. And but I just think, again, it wasn't her. It's not like he's gonna meet some supermodel tomorrow and be like, oh, let's get married. I think it's just, in general, he's just not, he's always been a guy that loves lots of ladies.
Do you agree with Taylor when she said that he uses women?
So I don't, okay, that's another thing I don't know, because I don't think he uses women, because it's not like he's drugging them or making them have sex. They know who he is and how, especially now with all this publicity and stuff, and they know how he is. And so if they have this false idea that they're gonna sleep with him or go to dinner with him or give him his number and he's gonna date them or even take him out again, that's kind of on them. They kind of know what they're getting themselves into. So hopefully they're getting just as much out of it as he is. I don't think he's manipulating them or coercing them into this. I think that they also are very well aware of what they're doing. And if they don't want to, then don't, So I don't really think, and I know Shep, and I know he's not coming from a place of I'm going to get this girl. And he's not in high school. He's not like that. I think he just genuinely loves love like that. And so he just loves to have fun, and that's part of his fun. And, I think he'll continue to do that. And I don't really think that was fair for her to, well, one, say that he ropes her into all these whores, and I don't also think it's fair to call these other girls that he's been with whores, because they're not. They're just having fun too.
Was it fair to bring up his parents?
No. And I think she feels really bad about that. I think she made a public apology, because I do think that, first of all, his parents are amazing, and the way that Shep is not a reflection on how they raised him at all, because he has two siblings who are very different. They have long, great law careers, and they have 3 kids. So Shep is just his own kind of person, and yes, Shep does talk to his parents like that, but he's 43, and I don't think they're going to sit down and be like, Shepherd, you're grounded, I think that was kind of irrelevant. It was kind of throwing shade at them and saying that maybe they were they should have done something about him talking about it, but that's not going to change who he is. That doesn't matter. I do think it was wrong for him to talk to her like that, and I think he even knows that, but that, again, is not because of his parents, I don't think.
Do you think that there was any glimmer of hope of them getting back together before the reunion, and is there any glimmer of hope of them getting back together after the reunion?
So that's an interesting question because, you know, I'm always a very hopeless romantic, and I actually sat with them on the plane on the way here, in between them, and so I'm like, I feel like I'm like the kid with like divorced parents. I'm like, please get back together. I love y'all together, you know. But they were cordial, they were friendly, they were laughing. You know, it does make me worried that he said, like, at this moment he's not in love with her anymore, because I know he does love her and he always will. And so I don't know if you can go back to being in love with someone if you fall out of being in love with someone. That remains to be, you know. But I do know that they're good terms. They're on good terms. And maybe there'll be that romantic spark again, you know. But for now, I think Shep needs to go and roam. And if she's okay with that, but I also think on some level, like, Taylor should just kind of move on, because she deserves better than even if Shep like turned himself around. I think there's always going to be that doubt in her mind, that kind of not trusting him. You know, just, I don't know if you can build a foundation, especially all that's happened. Like, I mean, after this reunion, I don't know if you can go back to being like happily in love, especially with the public eye and her apology. There's just a lot of mess, and I don't know if it's worth repairing. I think maybe they should just go she should see other people for a while and just see if somebody else is out there to better suit her needs. And I think she will quickly. I think, you know, like last night, she was looking around. I mean, I think, you know,
she'll get back out there.
Yes, she's beautiful. She's amazing. She'll find someone. I have no doubt in my mind she'll be fine.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.